Hello, Wellness Check Wednesdays community. We wanted to take a moment to remind you that while our podcast serves as a safe space for open discussions and sharing experiences, we are not mental health experts. This podcast is a platform for you to express your thoughts, feelings, and experiences in a judgment-free zone. Our aim is to foster connection, provide support, and create a sense of community. It's crucial to acknowledge that we are not a substitute for professional mental health advice or treatment. If you or someone you know is dealing with mental health challenges, we strongly encourage seeking guidance from qualified professionals. Remember, reaching out to mental health experts can make a significant difference. If you ever feel the need, don't hesitate to connect with a licensed therapist, counselor, or healthcare professional.
This is the Wellness Check Wednesdays podcast, a share space, a judgment-free zone, a place to meet and discuss our mental health. So let's check in.
Well, I know it's been a long time. We should have left you without a dope beat to step to. Oh, Timbaland. My bad. My bad. See what had happened was, I saw a Mount Rushmore, the top four producers. That there's a little graphic somebody made and left Timbaland off the list of top producers of all time. They've lost their ever loving mind. Wait a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to the Welsh Wednesdays podcast. I've been going off on a tangent and a rant all day. I need this podcast because my mental health, oh boy, come on this mental health journey with us. We encourage each and every week, each and every day that you may need it to always and forever. Let's check in. Oh man, you should know my voice by now, but you haven't heard us in a while, so I do apologize for that. Life does be lifing, but we're back. We're back. My name is Brian Livingston. I'm the moderator of the Wellness Check Wednesdays podcast, and we're going to go on a little journey as I introduce the originators of the Wellness Check Wednesdays podcast. First, by way of Cleveland, Ohio, my man Edwin Vereen.
Where them fans at? Actually, I got the fan on. The fan is above my head and it's circulating, oscillating, whatever you want to call it. You want to know why I be live? Because it's finally warm up here. It's finally warm up here. We told that little gopher to go to hell or groundhog. It's 70 degrees be live. I don't know how to act. It's a whole 70 degrees. I got the window open. I'm looking around and the fan is. I'm just happy because it's warm. Be live. That's all. But other than that, man, I'm blessed, busy. I'm good. I can't complain for the most part.
I'm very glad to hear that, my friend. Very glad to hear that. We're going to come back by way of Fayetteville, North Carolina, also where I reside. Big Head himself, my man, the originator, Kevin Marshall.
Where them heads at? No, my bad.
You got your forehead covered up. Don't start.
Oh boy.
Tired is an understatement. Ooh-wee. Getting one bar back in order, working at my day job, getting my side business back in order. Man.
Hey, I understand it, man. Hey, the hustle never stops, hey, man.
Mm-hmm.
I continue to encourage you to keep on doing what you do. And also, I also discourage you, if you ever try to hit me with an E-Honda headbutt next time you see me, we're gonna fight for real.
100 hand slap.
He hit me with a headbutt from hell. I was like, bruh. I almost dislocated my shoulder. But man, I remember the other day I was reminded of a Bible verse that I hold near and dear to my heart. And that's why I laugh, I joke, I kid a lot. For the joy of the Lord is my strength.
Mm-hmm.
That's why if I don't have anything else in this crazy thing called life, I'm going to keep my sense of humor.
Got to.
I'm going to laugh. I'm going to joke. But I feel like at the end of the day, being positive, being happy, laughter will give you the motivation and the strength to continue on. And I refuse. I refuse to be sad. I refuse. It takes more. It takes more effort to be sad and down in the dumps and be negative. So I just continue to be positive, no matter what life may throw at us. And with that being said, this episode of the Wellness Check Wednesdays podcast is going to be basically a check-in. We're going to do a mid-month of April check-in. It's been a while since we've recorded for various reasons. This time of year is busy on all fronts for the various jobs that we do, and
Touching
so
grass.
oh yeah, the landscaping. I know it's kicking your ass, Kevin.
Popping.
Listen, I go to work at 7. I don't get off the mower till almost 5 in the afternoon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. You ain't gonna be light skinned too much longer. All right.
Darkness.
No, I'm forever light skinned. I'm not the shadow running away from Peter Pan.
Oh
My
boy.
bad.
Oh boy.
Oh man, but yeah, so we're just gonna dive into where we're just gonna check in, and we're gonna talk about the good, the bad, the indifferent, the ugly, whatever you want to get off of your chest. I know I've did a lot of ranting and raving off screen, but more or less, this is an opportunity that we present this to any that want to join us. You can join us any week that you want to. I'm very appreciative of the originators, and I'm appreciative of our mainstays. My man, B3 Brad, he said he's with a work emergency, so I wish him the best. And when we
Absolutely.
reconvene, I'm pretty sure he will be right at the helm, and we appreciate him for his participation and everything like that. And our prayers and thoughts are with him. Um, Also, just quick shout out, prayers and thoughts to go happy go lucky. I won't say friend. I don't know him outside of the bar scene. But a dude that I know him pretty decently. He had a very bad motorcycle accident a
Oh
couple
man.
weeks ago too. So my man Lex, I wish him speedy recovery, prayers, thoughts to his family, and we'll be back at it very soon, having another beverage together, man, no doubt. But yeah, I definitely want to send well thoughts and wishes to his family, his loved ones, and those that are by his bedside and everything with that. For those that are going through any type of mental health or physical health crisis, our hearts go out to you. And this is an outlet, this is a forum that you can speak on it. And because we're promoting health, especially mental health, but health in general. And physical health does aid in your mental health. So, with that being said, I'm always been an extrovert. My thoughts have always been for the people around me. I don't necessarily center my thoughts to what I'm going through. And so like I put myself on the back burner a lot. And so I want to I because it's just who I am. Even in the things that I go through, I may not be in the best of moods. I may not have things going my way in a sense, but I I like to see people around me happy. I like
Mm-hmm.
to see people around me thriving, even if I may not be. And I'm always going to be that type of person. I I do ask for just thoughts and prayers. Just going through a little challenging time in my life, especially with my health. Um, right now I'm wearing a heart monitor. My blood pressure, my heart rate has been a little bit elevated, and so don't necessarily know why. I have a good feeling as to why, because don't necessarily take care of myself in the best way, and a couple of habits that I do have. I need to work on those as well, but I don't know. It's been a challenge, and some of the things that I do face, I'm just like, man, phew.
Well, just to let you know, brother, we love you. You're not going through it alone. And I'll tell you something that I told a good friend a few days. Matter of fact, it was last Tuesday. I said, look, man, I said, don't ever think you're a bother when you call me. Because this friend of mine, he had a lot to get off his chest. He's like, well, I don't want to be a burden to anybody. Whenever someone calls me and they want to talk and they got a lot on their mind, I ain't nothing but ears. You don't have to tell me, you don't have to preface the conversation, and I just let people talk. And so
Mhm.
therefore it's just I'm all ears. I'm all ears, and all ears and thoughts and prayers, and that goes for goes for you, Kev, that goes for you, Be Live, that goes for anybody listening to this. If I don't answer my phone, shoot me a text message, DM
Yeah,
me. I'm easy to get a hold to. I might be busy. If I don't get a hold to you, get in contact with you right there and then, I'll get in contact with you. I will do that. So, just know, man, that you in this thing, man, you ain't by yourself, brother. You're not.
and so I can attest to that because I did reach out to Edwin last Friday. Um, had a PTSD evaluation for the VA, just dealing with certain things and the questions that the psychiatrist was asking me, it dug up a lot of things that I've sort of maybe have suppressed
Mm,
or not. And the thing about, and I'll say this to the best of my ability, it wasn't something I pushed to the wayside. It wasn't something that I'm like I'm not dealing with, but it was just a sort of a continual motion of just living life.
mm.
I mean, and there's certain things you don't necessarily get over. You go through it.
Go through it. Yep.
You go through it. I mean, it doesn't linger, but I mean, it's not something that you forget. And so a lot of that came up with the evaluation, and it was one of those things where some things unfortunate on my parts because I didn't know because this was all 20 something years ago, and I didn't know when I left the service academy that I should have sought help then. But I didn't know, and so the time frame basically sort of passed. It's like they're looking at it like, bro, you've lived your life for 20 something years and you didn't seek help. So
Mhm.
why are you looking for us to pay for something that you haven't needed help for 20 something years? Now you can seek therapy through the VA, but it's not a disability. And I had to bite the bullet on that because
Mm,
it was one of those things where I could present it, and it's still not outside of the realm. I may seek additional guidance towards it, but it's more or less just like, hey, let me put it out there, see what happens, and it is what it is. I still have my VA health benefits. I just didn't qualify for disability, which I get it, I understand. I was a little hopeful, but it's not necessarily something that as they basically put it, like I don't really need it. It'd have been nice,
mm-hmm.
but it basically, and so, but it was one of those things where, good Lord, I had to dig up all of that just for them to say, yeah, nah, you're good. But and then again, like I said, it didn't tell me that I was, oh, you're good. It's just basically, hey, this is what you can do for that. Like, hey, we have these programs in place for that, but disability is not, wouldn't be, you wouldn't fall in that realm of disability. So that was something, like I said, my heart monitor, my blood pressure, I'm just like, ooh, and struggling with sleep because of worried about my pulse, my blood pressure. Like
You got concerns, legitimate concerns.
I'm just over here, like, all right, cool. This is all right. This is all right. And then with the lack of sleep becomes lack of energy. Just like a constant little circle of things which is like sort of been elevated the past couple of weeks. But I'm going to overcome this
Mhm.
somehow, some way. I'm going to overcome.
You will. You will.
Definitely.
No.
man. But Edwin, I thank you for your words on Friday. As I know that you were at work and we shared brief text messages. I actually spoke with my mom on the phone, and we had a very good conversation about. And I was like, "Mom, I'm sorry." I had to when I was talking with the psychiatrist, I telling them about things that I had done in the past, some of my past behaviors, and there was times where I didn't give a damn who I hurt, because hurt people.
Oh boy, and I was there for some of that.
Yeah,
God, boy, hey, and
and,
I ain't trying to cut y'all, but it's
mm,
just how can I say this? It's just like I told you, man. What you told me in that text between me, which I shall not disclose. I just said, hey, brother. I said, you know what? I said, that's a level of courage that a lot of people tend to stay away from it or don't go near. Prime example, I went to therapy for the first time in about 10 months.
mm,
But first time about 10 months because I felt like I needed it because the way that everything is going on with me as far as like having three jobs, yes, I said three jobs. I ain't worried about nobody other job. Listen to it. It is what it is. If you ask me about it, yeah, it is what it is. We have it. So just trying to keep my sanity and doing that. And then, I kind of realized that with me building everything, the things that I want to do, I'm like, well, that's not important right now. But right now, I need to build stuff. I need to take care of that. And so, someone brought up something to me about, do you have any issues with? They said the word avoidance, and it kind of took me down this path. And I was just thinking, and my therapist was like, she kind of helped me, say like, you don't have it. She said, well, what you're dealing with now, because I had a few incidents at work, not so fun job, and I noticed the way I handled it, and I noticed the way how old Ed would have handled it and how new Ed would have handled it. This recent situation was tattletelling coworkers. They don't want to put their load of the work. They're scared because they got to work a little
mm.
bit harder. Yeah, I said it. And so they complain to management. The management said another manager come talk to me. I said, well, guess what? If there's a narrative being created, it's time for me to nip it in the bud because it didn't sit well with me that entire weekend, the entire week. So I got a chance to talk to my manager, and he was like, "Well, what happened Saturday night?" I'm like, "Come on here, come on, dude. You come on, dude. You make sure you bleep that name out. Be like, damn. I didn't mean to drop his name. I said, come on, man. You know what happened. You know exactly what happened. And I told him, I said, look, I said, here's why I couldn't come back here and do A, B, C, and D. I said, also, I don't want there. I said also, just because I didn't do this, there need not be a narrative about Eddie don't do this, this, and this, because that's not true. So I'm just trying to, because my head, the main reason I had that conversation was him to put that potential narrative about me not doing my work, kill it dead, kibosh it. Because last thing you want to do is you do something else and see sometimes they start bringing old stuff up. But if you nip it in the bud earlier, they can't bring it up. My bad, be like, I didn't mean to take over. Go ahead.
Oh, no, 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 no. You're good. You're good, because I definitely do not want to monopolize the time
Mm-hmm.
with this. Um but yeah, the biggest thing that I realized more than anything is that hurt people hurt people.
Yeah, they do.
And
Hmm.
so, and my mom says something that really struck, that I never really thought about it, and we never really discussed it much in detail. It was because, I mean, at the time, like, she was being the disciplinarian because I was grown and I get it.
Mm-hmm.
And now, just looking back, like, hey, the discipline was there, and I needed tough love. I absolutely needed the tough love because I was being an idiot. And now we could talk about, as the time has progressed and everything. She told me flat out, straight up, she didn't know how to help. Like, she saw, when I came back home, I was defeated. I was this is the first time pretty much in my entire life that I didn't succeed, and I was in a world of my own. And she told me she didn't know how to help. because I was my the way my brain operates was that I'm just gonna jump back on and keep it moving.
Mm-hmm.
And like I got the opportunity that I could still go to school, do this, that, and I just slipped into a different world, and I was re-identifying myself. I was no longer Brian Livingston, midshipman, United States Naval Academy. Then I was like, then it became Be Live,
Oh
and then it
boy.
became DJ Be Live and Be
Yeah.
Live, and that's sort of been my moniker ever since then. And I recreated myself. Did I recreate myself in the best light? Not necessarily, but a lot of good has come from it.
Mm.
I'm still be live to a lot of people, to even to the point where some people only introduce me as Be Live.
Yeah.
And
Unfortunately.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I guess for the most part, it's not that bad. It's sort of who I am. I mean, I do have a professional side of me, and when that time is, and et cetera, yes, I absolutely can put on the professional hat, and I'll be Brian Livingston all day. But I'm also an entertainer,
Yeah.
and it is what it is. And I do sit back and look and see how many people I do impact on a day-to-day basis and on a weekly basis, and I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful that people look forward to seeing me and enjoy my services as a DJ, karaoke, et cetera, things I do as far as like promoting the community, video editing and stuff like that. I I'm pretty cool with that now. I just need to find it to be more monetarily successful for me. But it is what it is.
Mm.
But that was something I dealt with on Friday. So I'm thankful to Edwin. I'm thankful to you. Thankful to my mom. They gave me that outlet to talk to, because that was something I really, and Kevin, I mean no offense to you with this that was something I really couldn't call up just anybody to talk to about.
Hey,
That
look,
was, I said,
I definitely understand, and every failure has a success point. But the thing is, do you let that failure hold you back and you stay in that same realm of what if I fail? What if I don't succeed? What if I don't make it? What if I don't proceed to the higher potential that I know I can be? And sometimes that higher potential is, like you said, you're grateful and you're thankful for the people that you have touched through that persona of Be Live, through that persona of the DJ karaoke. So sometimes how I look at it is maybe the Navy Academy wasn't for you at that point in time.
Mm.
there's no maybe about it. It wasn't, because I,
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I I definitely I can't use maybe anymore. Like I said, we're over 20. We're what, 24 years removed from that. I can't
Mm.
I can't use that maybe anymore. It wasn't. That was a different chapter in my life. And the thing about it is that for the most part, even though there's things that have been lingering, I've had my own issues and things that I battle with, and just be call a spade. My alcoholism is something I still haven't quite gotten the gist of. I mean, I stem from that, but I don't blame it. Like, I'm not gonna play the blame game. The what ifs are gone. I don't
Mm.
do the what ifs. What happened was that all of this was brought back up
Hmm.
after 25 years of doing the different steps that I have done to be where I'm at today, because I
Mm.
could have completely crashed out. Could have completely just said F it all a long time ago. But I've overcome that. It was just the fact of, for this particular evaluation, they needed to know the entire steps before service, during service, after service. So when the conversation went there, yes, it was tough to do, but I can say this with confidence: it's no longer a what ifs. The what ifs are over with.
Yeah.
Now is more or less a what can I do today with the opportunities that are before me. My opportunities are limited because of my past life choices. That is a thing, but it's not something where I don't blame. I don't what if. I have taken acceptance and responsibility and accountability for myself. Like, hey, bro, you did this to yourself. This
Mhm.
wasn't something that was done to you by somebody else. You did this to yourself. Now you have to overcome it, just like you have overcome every other stumbling block that has presented itself before you. Which, once again, majority of the time is caused by my own actions.
Yeah.
So
And
it's yeah,
sorry, my bad. Like you said, man, accountability, that's the thing, man. Like, because for a while I kind of did I have accountability issues? Yes and no. But then but I learned that sometimes I have to do like a self-analysis. I'm like, okay, Ed, here's the problem. Let's look at how you got to the problem. And I go back a little bit. Okay, well, yeah, I did this, I did that, I could have did this, I could have did that, and that's when I tell myself, okay, now that you know that, rectify it, fix it, and don't do it again. And sometimes it's just like one of my I'll admit it, and I'm hopefully nobody won't use this against me, but if they do, nice try because I've been working on it. The ability to have difficult conversations. I don't know where it comes from. Um, my mom was able to have, from what I know of, she was able to have difficult conversations with me. People that I've dealt with, some of my friends and family, they've been able to have difficult conversations with me. But when it comes to me having difficult conversations, somehow, some way, I'll kind of find a route to communicate what I got to say via text, and it's not always the best way. And at 42, I'm learning how to overcome that. But look, you got to say this. You'll be respected more if you say this. The other person might feel some kind of way, but at least you know at the end of the day that you've been working on yourself to take those necessary steps to overcome that hurdle in your life to have those conversations. Just like I said, that conversation I told you about me nipping this narrative at work in the bud. The old me, well, it'll go away. I'm like, no, you need to play a role to ensure that this gets eradicated, Rhea Ripley. Anyways, to make sure this gets eradicated and get it out the way. And okay, I got that done. Okay, and now I feel more comfortable having these kind of difficult relationships. I mean, not relationships, good God, difficult conversations because
right.
I know the importance of it and how it affects me and how it affects the other person. And sometimes it's all about when we have those difficult conversations, it's about setting that tone.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I think that's what you did, Be Live, when you told the VA, when you took that deep dive over the past 20 plus years, you had to have that conversation with yourself. It was a difficult one, but you did it. I ain't gonna lie to you. You kind of inspired me to have the conversation I had to have the other day.
And it was one of those things where like it at the time it was a means. It was
Mm,
something. It was something that I was like, hey, if I'm going to try to get this, I need to do this.
yeah.
And one thing that I learned more than anything was that hey, I was like, man, yeah, this is something I need to get a grip of more than anything. And it's one of the things where in the back of your mind you think you're dealing with something when you might not actually be taking the bull by the horns.
Mm,
I'm the same boat with you, Eddie, when you say about having those difficult conversations. One thing that I'm learning more and more of, especially when it comes to people that near and dear to me, that are close to me, the people that I love,
mm,
is if like I have to have those difficult conversations sometimes
mm,
because if I sit idly by and things go sideways because I didn't say anything, I'm gonna feel that much worse. I'm like, and so we had the conversation about some of the things that you're going through with your job and everything else. Like, and sometimes like flat out like this is hey bro this if I was you,
yeah.
but one thing that like this internal battle that I've faced my entire life is that it doesn't matter how many people can shout over the top, like billboard, freaking text message, phone calls, yell, scream, shout, shake, do all this. The only person in this life that can ever hold you truly accountable is you.
Yeah.
Nobody else. See, I could talk until I'm blue in the face and be like, Ed, you need to do this. Ed, you need to do that. Ed, this don't even sound right. Man, Ed, this is crazy.
And listen, you know what? That has happened to me for so long, and I don't know, like I don't know if I suppressed it or put it on the back burner, but I don't know what happened. I might have been sitting in this very spot, Be Live. It might have been October 2024. I said, you know what? You don't like the way things are going. You have an opportunity to grab bull by the horns. Formulate a plan. Make things. I had to really sit. Matter of fact, I bought at the beginning of last year, I had a small planner. Be like, I went from a small planner to a big planner. So now I have to be more intentional what I say and intentional what I do. I mean, there's been a few things throughout the course of the year, like, I should have been, more forthright about, but I guess I call myself trying to skirt around things to give it a shot. But I was like, nah, I gotta be honest. I gotta be honest. I can no longer do this. And so it's just,
Well, the keynote and what both of y'all have said, and even with a lot of people in my generation and people after my generation, grabbing the bull by the horns and having those hard to have conversations, it comes down to a point also that a lot of people still haven't learned. Can you be honest with yourself enough to have the right conversation?
Right.
mhm,
Because a lot of people will have a conversation, but sometimes it's not the right conversation that's needed to have with themselves.
Yep.
right.
And that's what I'm saying. Like I battle that all the time. Like, and certain things. There's times I was like, dude, you got to be honest with yourself. You ain't doing right. And like, and so,
Yeah.
and it's tough at times, especially when you have to dig yourself out of a hole that you made. Like
Yeah.
you,
hmm And
and
you, one of the craziest quotes I've heard in the past few months, I've heard it like 3 or 4 times, the double C's. And what the double C's is, if you want change and you're not changing it, you're choosing it.
Yep.
And a lot of people, they'll say, yes, I want change. Yes, I am changing, but they're not choosing it. And that also falls back in, piggybacks off of what I just also said too, that, a lot of people won't truly sit down, look themselves in the mirror and look at the nitty gritty side of what do I need to do?
Mhm.
you're
And
nail on the head, brother.
Yeah.
and a lot of people, because I've had this talk with some of my friends too that's come up after me, is that yes, they'll change. Yes, they'll have this conversation. But here's the kicker: they do it for this person. They do it for this way of lifestyle. They do it for whoever the case may be, or whatever the case is. Instead of just saying, "I want this for me." At the end of the day, I don't want it for anybody else. At the end of the day, I don't want it for any different type of lifestyle. At the end of the day, I don't want it to impress my social circle.
Mhm.
Like they don't understand the factor of I want this for me.
Yep. And that's the thing, man. You gotta you gotta, you gotta want it for yourself, man. And just matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you a funny story real quick. I've been telling stories for the past 3 days. I can write three full-length books. So as some of you may know, I delved into music and everything, right? And so somebody close to me said, "Hey, I got somebody. Do you think you can help me be their manager?" I said, "Here's the deal. From what I see, I ain't gonna be able to do it." "Man, why is that?" I said, "Look, you got to look at the wants.
hmm
My want for you is here, but from what I'm seeing, your want from you is below my want for you. The thing about it is, it has to be like this. You gonna have to want it more than what I wanted for you."
Yep.
I said, as of right now, it's a whole lot of this, and I see nothing, 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 as to where I don't see any change. I don't see anything that will make me. But you know what? They can use some guidance and music because, like you said, you can't want something for somebody else that they don't want for themselves.
Right.
Well,
And it's like, and it's like this on top of that. And of course, y'all know I got 50, 11 jobs. if I take time to help you out, that means I care about you and I want to see you do good. But if you're not showing me any signs of helping yourself, what am I doing?
Well,
Why
see,
do I even need to be here? You know what I'm saying?
all right, and let's fine tune that because how I just perceive that is you have a need for them of wanting to get here.
Yeah.
They've lost that self accountability of, damn, what's this need that he sees in me? What is this aspiration that he sees in me? And a lot of people don't have that self accountability of need.
And discipline as well too.
Yeah.
Now,
I would like to take this opportunity to conclude all the things we talked about because yeah, with this mid-month of April check-in, and I apologize to our listeners. I know I still feel like I monopolized a lot of the conversation, but I appreciate the two of y'all, especially for just
be like this is our platform, and that's why I'm like, if he need time to talk, I'm gonna get it to him. I ain't got it. It's like this. As far as April went, quick recap: I'm alive, I'm well, I'm working, and I'm busy.
Hell yeah.
That's
And
that.
you can't always be the moderator. Sometimes you have to be the talker one.
Yeah.
Fellas, I appreciate it. And I hope, like I said, at the end of the day, I hope that everyone can take something away from our weekly chats that we have, that we check in more than anything, because like I say, we need it.
Yeah, we need it.
Hell yeah.
We need it. And so with that being said, we're gonna let Kevin do what he about to do because he's on the road.
Yeah. He on the way to some money.
Stay
Not right
on
now.
the.
I need to go get some sleep.
Gotcha, brother. Gotcha, brother. Man, I appreciate you coming on with us. And I
Already.
appreciate you as always.
No problem, man.
This is the Wellness Check Wednesdays podcast. I want to say this is episode 64. I want to say that. I hope I'm right. If not,
Something like that.
it is what it is.
Close enough.
But we always encourage, especially when it comes to mental health and this journey that we are on together each and every week, each and every day as needed, to always and forever. Let's check in. See y'all next week.
Wait, adios.
Thank you for listening to the Wellness Check Wednesdays podcast. Please join us every week, Wednesdays on Zoom at 6 p.m., and join our Facebook group for updates and to participate. We care about your mental health, so let's check in.